Hey everybody, it's Abbye. Today I'm sitting down with Kristen and Wes Bechtel, the husband and wife team behind Bombalatti's Ice Cream, a Wilmington staple that's grown from one small shop into 5. We talk about what it really takes to build business, even when it's chaotic. From active shooter lockdowns and plumbing disasters to sleepless nights and tough calls. It's an honest, hilarious, and inspiring look at what happens when you trade a steady paycheck for the sweet and sometimes sticky life of entrepreneurship. You're listening to Business from Scratch, the podcast for people building businesses they love without losing themselves along the way. I'm your host, Abbye McGee. Let's get started. Well, I wanted to start this off with, we had you guys scheduled for this before.
Oh, right.
And then we had to reschedule.
So what happened?
I'm going to read you what happened because you texted it to me.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
I felt this text deep in my soul. Hey, Abbye, I hate to do this, but I think we're going to have to postpone the podcast tomorrow morning. Do you know why? Because small business ownership sucks. Currently, we have, this part is not funny. Currently, we have 2 girls stuck in a storage closet at UNCW because the campus is on lockdown because of active shooters. And there is poop coming out of the floor at the Forum shop. We have been dealing with plumbing issues there for months, and we're going to have to close early. There's a little bit more to it, but I felt like that was the most perfect representation of small business ownership that you could ever put into a text.
Pretty
Very
much.
honest, too.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yes.
Well, I mean, if it wasn't
that,
Abbye, it wouldn't have been that honest, but like she gets it.
Yeah, I get it. And I think every business owner gets it. That was a very stressful night just because of the chaos.
Right.
At your brand new shop.
Yeah.
On the campus of UNCW. But then everything else, and I feel like it's never just one thing. It is always 50 things. Yes.
Yes. In hindsight, when we opened 2 more shops this summer, we didn't really think through the fact that that's almost like you're going from 3 to 5, which is like not double, but
it might as well be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so once, every time you open another shop, that brings more. Sometimes things are not working properly there and people texting mainly Wes about it. This weekend, I got a couple of texts that I didn't even have to involve him in. So I was happy about that because sometimes people text him.
It was so nice. She told me later.
Yeah.
I put out 2 fires that you didn't even know about. I was like, what?
That's amazing. Do you feel like the most successful business owners thrive in chaos?
Oh, 100%.
And drama?
I mean, I don't know if they have to thrive in a certain way. Do
you feel like that? I feel like if we didn't love it a little bit, that we would not keep going. There has to be some kind of something that a therapist would have to dig out, right? Like, what is it about us that we keep going when things get that chaotic?
Well, I think part of it is, too, that we both had mundane jobs that we hated before we started Boom, and we felt stuck and felt like our creative juices were stalled, very much so.
Mm-hmm.
And so we realized that we weren't people that wanted to sit behind a desk all day and do the same thing, even though that's like, the time when we all went to college, it was like that was what the American dream was, like get a degree, go get a 9-to-5 job, get a briefcase.
Leather.
Yeah.
Maybe get one of those lanyards.
Yes. And so we were like, ooh, this is not for us. So now even like on the worst day, we like Wes really often says to me, better than a day at Verizon.
Usually the worst day at Boom is better than the best day. Second best day at Verizon. Best day at Verizon was when Captain Bill's would cater for everybody. So that day was good.
I thought you were going to say the best day was the day you quit.
That was a good day too. Man, was that a good day. But yeah, so at Verizon, like there was no chaos ever. I remember one time there was water leaking out of the ceiling and I was a supervisor on duty. And I called the emergency line and is it an emergency? I'm like, well, I mean, I'm watching water run out of the ceiling. I'm like, yeah, that's not an emergency. Somebody will be there like Tuesday.
That was the extent of the excitement.
I was like, oh, wow. I would think that was bad. So now it's just a little chaos.
But what were you doing before you started Boom?
I was actually a paralegal. I was just telling Rich in the hallway. This was the first place I ever worked when we moved to Wilmington in the Murchison building. My office was on the corner. What floor are we on?
Mezzanine.
Okay. My office was, I think, on the 7th floor in the corner. But yeah, I went to school I got a bachelor's in English and a minor in law. And I originally was going to go to law school. And then I met this lovely human and we decided to move to the beach, and there's no law school here. So we were like, oh, maybe we'll live here for a little bit and move somewhere else so that I could maybe pursue that. But
can you imagine?
Here we are 23 years later.
I think so.
So how long was it after you moved here and you were both had your boring desk jobs that you...
Actually, quite a while. I think 14 years. I was at Verizon for 12, and I had done social work for 2 years before that.
Okay.
So
Right, yeah. And we had both girls. Stella was 3 when we took over Boom, and Airly was 6. And that was one of the reasons why we drug our feet for so long about doing our own thing, because the kids were so little. We had boring jobs, but we both had insurance, paid time off, all the things that, you know, you don't get
to trap you.
Yes.
And then 12 years has gone by and you're like, oh,
right.
What have I done?
What have I done? The crazy thing was I'd got my MBA for free through Verizon, and there was no like requirement to stay on.
Oh, wow.
And so within a year, I think I was like,
was it through UNCW?
It was through Strayer University.
Okay.
Which I think is out of Virginia, but they they actually came on to the Verizon Center. So the college was on the first floor.
Oh, wow.
So no excuse not to go to a 3-hour class once a week for 2 years. And
for free.
And all of my stuff was about ice cream. And then that was going to make me like a better manager.
All of your stuff was
like
about
all my
ice
like
cream?
my papers, my business cases, my projects, because you could sort of pick all your own stuff.
And so you already knew at that point that you wanted to go into the ice cream business?
I knew at that point it would be a cool thing to do, but I don't think that it was the actual plan.
No, it was kind of serendipitous how it all happened.
Right. I mean, so I definitely wanted to ask you too. I knew that you bought Bombalatti's as an existing business, and was that intentional that you bought something that was already in place, or you had thought about doing your own thing and then that came up and you're like, oh, this makes it easier?
The second half.
Yeah.
I mean, we were thinking about doing our own thing for a while, but dairy is so regulated. You can't do anything dairy in your home kitchen. Like you can make muffins and scones and all that, but you cannot do ice cream. And so we were sort of starting the process without doing any research, and then found that out. And it was like, oh, we would have to get a commercial kitchen. We actually had a kitchen that we were going to be able to use, like rent.
Right.
And then like the week before we were going to start, they sold the business. So then we had no kitchen. And then we were doing all this research on the side, trying to figure out like the competition.
Like if we should do farmers markets or if we should look for our own space. And
then we found out Bombalatti's was for sale. And then we were kind of early in the process. So like we hadn't really researched equipment and spacing. And so it was just like, well, we could either start from scratch and buy everything, or buy a business that already has everything and then change all the things that need to be changed about it. So let's go with round 2. I think there were definitely pluses and minuses for it.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
yeah, you kind of have to fit your ideas into a space that was working for somebody else's ideas, right? And so the times that I've gone into somebody else's kitchen and tried to use it have been not fun. I much prefer when I get to do it from scratch.
Yes, it's like showing up to an Airbnb for like your friend's 30th birthday weekend, and you're like, I'm gonna prep this awesome meal, and you have like a paring knife and a corkscrew.
A paring knife that was $8 32 years ago.
Right.
I literally remember we were trying to find I can't remember where we were, but we literally used a corkscrew to open up like a lime to like squeeze it in to make like drinks or something until the next day, because we didn't want to go back out to the store. But yes, adapting to someone else's kitchen was interesting, to say the least.
But you did get to walk into a space that had a customer base, that had, you know, recognition. You can kind of hit the ground running and then figure it out as you go.
Right, which was also interesting because our one employee that we had at the time, who was our babysitter first that we hired, would come to us and say, the soft serve machine's not working, or such and such is not working. What do we do? And we're like,
I have no idea.
Great question.
Sell the soft serve machine to a fraternity.
That's what we did end up doing after a while.
$100 if they could get rid of it that day.
Oh, amazing.
Yes.
Which they came back not long ago. This was year 1. So they've had it for 9 years, and they tell us they still use it. They like blend alcohol in their
They make
garage.
all-
So they
they're
figured out
making-
how to fix it.
Yeah,
They figured it out.
I don't think they. Well, the problem was cleaning it and keeping it clean. I don't know that they ever have
Problem was
cleaned
I
it.
couldn't do the cone thing.
Absolutely not.
And some lady laughed at me, and I was like, "Oh, we're selling that. No more soft serve for us."
So if you could go back to before you bought Boom, now, knowing what you know now, would you have still bought an existing business, or would you have started from scratch?
Nobody's ever asked us that.
No.
It's interesting. My answer would be yes, I would have still bought it. It did bring a lot of challenges, but at the same time, we had no idea what we were doing.
Right.
Like even knowing what kind of batch freezer to buy, or knowing where we would even buy like boxes and boxes of cups to serve ice cream in, or how to run a cash drawer, like anything. Now, what they were doing was all like bottom line, like nothing was fancy, nothing was being done well, but it was still functioning that we could start with that and then just build on it.
Yeah.
If we had to build out our own space, figure out all the freezers and stuff, and also the price that we paid was pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
If we had to build out ourselves, I think we would have
spent a lot
struggled.
more money.
Right.
Would have
A lot
taken
more
longer to get a
time.
customer base. I mean, that was part of the reason we didn't, because we also had the opportunity to change the name if we wanted to. And there were sort of two things. One, it would have caused so much confusion. Like, wait, this isn't, and then you'd have to sort of explain, well, it's kind of the same, but it's not the same. And then also when we found out how much the lighted signs cost, and we had two.
Oh, that's right.
So it's like, oh,
That
do we
makes
want
the
to spend
decision
like
for you.
$28,000
Yes,
on new
wild.
signage,
Yeah.
or should we just go with Bombalatti's and
Yeah.
just sort
Right.
of change it? I also think they were still making good ice cream, so we got to spend more time focusing on marketing, finance, customer service, sort of that part of the stuff, because we knew how to make it at that point. Where if we had to start from scratch, we would have spent all this time like on the logistics of freezing, which at the end of the day, the customer doesn't really care about. So I don't know if we would have had the
Because
same.
you, along with the business that you bought, you got all their SOPs, their recipes. You kind of walked into a turnkey that you could adjust, but it wasn't you having to figure everything out from the ground up.
Right.
Yeah.
But there were no recipes. Hindsight.
Okay.
We negotiated to buy the recipes. The recipes were the lady who made the ice cream saying, then you put in this much cream, glug,
Okay.
glug, glug, glug,
Not
glug,
standard.
and this much cookies. And we were like, oh.
So we've ended up changing most
Yeah,
of
most-
the recipes a lot.
Most of the recipes we've now kind of cultivated. So
Yeah. So going back to the chaos of that text message, I'm always so intrigued by how do you say this word? The universal. I was trying to make it more complicated than it is. Add some extra letters at the end. The universal concept of business ownership being chaos. It just is. And you have to have some kind of certain level of grit and determination and love for the chaos to be able to get through it. Do you feel like how long did it take you to were you like, oh shit, what have we done? Or
oh yeah,
do you probably
still
are
do.
still there every week? Yes.
Yeah, it comes in waves.
Yeah.
yes, it's kind of like having a newborn baby. You know, some days it's great and you're like, oh, this is awesome. Everybody that came in was happy. People were celebrating. You know, there's grandparents, there's couples, there's all the things. And then some days it's like, this is not manageable. People are sick. People are calling out. Our kids need us. We're not available. I mean, you're getting pulled in 6 different directions. And the other thing I always tell people is great if you have a great product, but if you can't flex, like you said, and be able to put out fires and actually run the back end of the business, taxes, cleaning, staying on top of permits, all of those things, that's the harder part. If you can't do that, then you're in a lot of trouble. And
it doesn't
I think
matter
that's
how good your product is.
right.
Yeah, it's going to fall apart.
I think that's why a lot of businesses end up failing, probably because it's too many moving parts.
How much, if you had to put percentages on it, how much time do you spend on fun, creative things as opposed to all of the unsexy, uncreative, unfun, administrative part of business? The stuff that keeps you going and profitable.
Go ahead.
I'm just going to see how close we were. We're probably at like 20-80 creative creativity to like just a logistics company.
Are you saying 80 creative?
No, 80 logistics.
Oh, I was gonna say what?
We should have done this podcast as like that old Newlyweds game.
Yes.
Oh my gosh,
that'd be fun.
That would have been fun.
Like I hardly ever make ice cream anymore. And I used to be the one that made ice cream sort of in the kitchen. And then Kristen was much, much faster and efficient than I was. So then she made a lot of the ice cream. And now we have a team of like 7 people that make ice cream. We do get to formulate new recipes, but also as we grow,
that becomes more difficult. And
we've sort of become seasonal. Like we know what 5 flavors will come out in November. We know what 5 flavors come out in December. And those flavors have huge fans. So we don't, we're to the point that if we want to put a new flavor out, we only have so many spots. We have 24 flavors. So if we put in a new flavor, well, one of those 24 has to come out.
Yes. And like when we first opened, we had 1 shop. So if we wanted to make a new flavor of ice cream and just roll it out today because it's fun and I saw something that I liked or we had a dessert we liked or something, it was like we need like 3 gallons of ice cream. Well, now we have to have enough to send it to all 5 shops or somebody's complaining that they can't get it, And that's actually what we were saying this summer. We had a conversation this summer, like a real come to Jesus moment. And we were like, we can't function like this. This summer was way too much. There wasn't any time to be creative. It was a constant.
Well, you were opening 2 new shops.
Right. Yes. And that timing was not supposed to happen that way.
Do 2 shops at the same time.
But then, you have the logistics and you have contractors and you have landlords and you have all the things. And so you end up way behind and there's nothing you can do about it, which is another thing that's one of my biggest places where I need to grow and strengthen patience is waiting on other people. And I know my part of it is.
Kristen will hang up something on that wall right now with 2 thumbtacks, a little toothpaste for glue.
That's what moms do.
Oh, it's funny.
I'm like, I've asked this many times. Nobody's going to do it. I'm going to do it. It might not be 100, but it's going to get done.
And I'm the meme where I'm like, I told you I would do it. I know it took 9 months, but
you don't have to remind me.
It's on the wall. Yeah. Waiting on other people, budgeting. It's a lot. And that's the lesson we've learned in growing. Like if one shop has 1 issue a week, well, now we have 5 shops, so that's 5 issues a week. So every day on average, there's like somebody calling. And I've got this Pavlovian response now where my phone rings. If it's any of my managers, I'm like, they're probably not calling me to be like, just did a monster hour. Wait until you see your bank account tomorrow. It's, hey, everything's broken. No one's here.
Yeah, he immediately goes into like fight or flight response.
Oh, God, here we go.
So sometimes I'll text them like behind when we go somewhere or something. I'm like, unless there's a flood or a fire,
just deal
please
with
don't
it.
Text Wes.
Yeah,
both of which we've had.
Deal with
because
it.
Yeah. But as you know, like
those are valid categories to have. Yes.
Caught on fire once.
Yes. Oh, we have had all that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. So I always I think the same thing. A lot of times people think, okay, I'm really good at making drinks. I'm really good at making a meal. I'm really good at designing ad copy or whatever. And they have no concept of what it actually takes to make that thing that you're good at.
Or commercially.
Yes. A viable business. And so a lot of times people are like just really shocked. And I think some people have it and some people don't. Some people get in and are like, no, I'm going to go back to my desk with my 401k and my insurance and my paycheck.
And when I clock out,
5 o'clock,
I'm done.
You're done. Because when you own your own business, you might work 80 hours and you still might not get a paycheck at the end of the week.
Right,
like, you know, you have to be able to reconcile in your heart and your mind that I believe in this enough for that to be a reality that I can survive.
Well, right. Yeah. And then, you were asking about the creativity and that's what we were struggling and missing this summer. But then the other aspect of that, like you were just saying, you have to think about the fact that you are making a product and you might have some great visions, but is the general public going to want it or are they going to buy it? Or is it something that's not going to be a trend? It's going to be like a long-term thing that is sustainable. And a lot of times I think people don't really think through that. And it frustrates us sometimes because we are real foodies and we are into really big flavors. But then, we also are running a business. So it's like, I can't take out cookies and cream because I want to run like a hibiscus, cayenne, whatever flavor, because cookies and cream is like the Bud Light of ice cream. I mean, you're going to sell.
That's a tropical lightning. That's
right.
keeps the lights on.
Yes. I mean, and if you take it out, people will literally riot.
When is it, what do you look for to say, okay, we've got everything under control, it's time to open up a new one? And in the same vein, what is the goal behind opening new locations? Is it, you're just like a glutton for punishment? Are you trying to increase your profits? Are you just think you are like Superman and like, I can do anything, so here we go? I get like that sometimes, especially like right after I open something. Well, I remember when we opened Ibis and there was like lines out the door and I was like, let's do it again. Let's go.
Yes.
And then 6 months later, I'm like, never
And the
again.
internet
I'm
was
never,
rooting you
ever
on.
doing it again.
Right. Yeah.
Like, what's the next bird?
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's a few things. I mean, the way that we know that it's time, which isn't necessarily correct, but like having a solid staff in place where you feel like you can step away from whatever the newest store is. It's going to be okay. You've got a GM that's running it.
Right.
Which now lets you take your, talents, skills, and move them to the next place and get that off the ground. There's definitely a financial aspect for it. I mean, we've got a new machine coming today that lets us make twice as much ice cream in one batch. It's a $65,000 piece of machinery. We got it for used, but it still costs more than like the first 3 vehicles I ever purchased. So as you invest into equipment, the easiest way to pay off that equipment is to open new shops in a way. So,
but isn't that kind of like the cereal bowl conundrum? Like,
yeah,
I'm out of milk, so let me add some milk. Now I'm out of cereal. Let me add some,
I didn't know that was a thing.
That's the thing. I know it is.
Yeah,
when
and then
I eat
he'll
cereal.
eat a whole box of cereal.
Box of cereal and a half
Yes,
gallon.
or like when you're cutting your bangs, and you're like, oh,
yes.
let me fix this. Oh,
And then
you think you have
done.
enough, and then you do anyway.
You can't go to
Well,
the
then you
house
see
for a
some of
month.
these businesses really grow. Like in the ice cream industry, a few like the Jenny's Splendid and the Van Leeuwens, and I mean they're up. Van Leeuwen, I think, said they had 150 stores at the end of this year, and 75 of those they opened this year. That's 50% of the shops. Now, I think that they probably went and got some financing or
for sure.
So like, in a way, they have bills to pay or people to make happy where we don't have to do that. But
we do get approached a lot about that. We had a book at the shop that we have people's names written down. People call us. People called from New Jersey the other day. People
Wanting shops.
Yes, they want us to franchise. They want us to open them. But again, that's another thing we discussed this summer, and we decided we're not going to open any more shops, at least until Airly is graduated.
I tell you, I assigned a.
No. I made
In
him
fact,
agree to this.
We have a rule.
Yes.
That every time we talk, every time we say that we're not opening another shop, we add a year to the.
Right. So
we restart the year.
At least a year from today before we even negotiate anything. Because this summer got way too crazy. And one of my daughters said to me one day, I said something, well, why didn't you tell me that? And she said, well, when I've told you, you're never here. And I was just like, oh. Yeah. Because that's what we said when we bought the shop, that we weren't going to grow too fast where we couldn't invest time in our kids because they're only going to be young once. And there's like last night when I was talking, well, you have a 16-year-old talking
She's
to Airly.
17 now.
Oh, right.
Oh.
Yeah, I was talking to Airly last night and I was thinking to myself, she is speaking to me and comforting me much more like one of my friends and an adult than a child. And it like was very heartwarming because she was being so kind, but at the same time it was kind of heartbreaking because you're like, whoa. So yes, we do talk about family life balance a lot, especially when you work with someone you're married to. I mean, it's a lot.
Well, and it can also never stop. So you clock out, but then you're always with your business partner. So like the chances of you talking about work are 120%.
Yes, we have to set limits on that too.
Sometimes that's when we're creative. Like we go out to eat, we eat a dessert,
we walk.
So we do enjoy that where we're like, whoa, how would you freeze this? So, I mean, if there was a job that I had to talk about on a date with my wife, it's ice cream and not,
cell phone towers.
So yeah, did you know? Like, and that's the other interesting thing is like she would come home and talk about weird law, and I would come home and talk about 3G technology, and both of us would be like, I don't care at all.
I don't
even know what you're talking about. So at least now
you have some common ground, and that is a fun topic to talk about.
And our kids could talk about it too, like Airly's watermelon sorbet and stuff. Like we've had flavors that they've come up with. So
But Wes is definitely much more optimistic and wanting to open more shops than I ever am.
Not after this summer.
I mean, yes.
I was.
I think he got put in his place a little this summer. But I'm always, you know, I feel like sometimes I sound like a pessimist, but I'm just trying to remind him that I'm a realist. And that
something a pessimist
it seems
would
to
say.
never go according to plan. I'm sorry, what?
That was a
Mike didn't catch that.
sidebar.
I said that sounds like something a pessimist would say. But no, you are much more of a realist. And I am much more of an
Well, you have
optimist.
to have that in business. Like, it's great that you have that balance.
Yes.
You know, I don't have that balance. I'm just myself. So
Are you an extreme, like, let's just do this? Or are you?
Yes. I'm like, I make a decision and then I figure it out along the way.
Right. Yeah. That can be blessing and a
We've
curse.
learned a lot from just
figuring out along the way.
hey, the semi truck is here. I guess we have to figure out how to get it through the door.
Sorry, Sydney. That's Wes's
probably
fault, not
happening right
mine. Our staff does not love figuring out along the way.
What if we take it off the hinges?
Yes, Wes loves to call them the morning of, hey, so around noon, we're basically going to flip the entire shop upside down. Are you ready? Oh, great.
Well, you want to hear a funny story? One of the major reasons why we renovated the Forum shop and doubled in size in 2021 was because we had a blast freezer
Oh, that's right.
that we adopted that Marble Slab Creamery, who was the first tenant in that space, had purchased. So at this point, it was like 16 years old. It died. But it was basically built into the space. We couldn't get it out.
It was a very big, expensive closet for
or get a new freezer in. So it was just like,
so you had to knock some walls down.
The only way to get this freezer out and to replace it is to knock a wall down.
And while you're at it, you might as well.
Let's just double our floor plan.
Right, because Tom T was leaving and we were already bursting at the seams. After we had got into there and changed some things around, friendlier customer service, we rebranded the whole thing. We basically made it so when you walked in there, the name was the same, but nothing else was.
Right.
You know, so people knew there's some sort of a change here because they didn't really have a great reputation for customer service. They had a great reputation for delicious ice cream, but all the rest we had nowhere to go but up. So, you know, everything just started going really well, really quickly. And then when we had that space come up next door, it was like, well, you know, the rent is high, but also we need ice cream at the Forum like now. We're running out. We were selling out every day and having to wait for the pans to empty so that we could then refill them till like 4 a.m.
Oh, wow.
So that we would have ice cream to start the next day.
Every night we were making every flavor.
And one of us was working during the day. One of us was coming in at like 6 or 7, 8. Sometimes we wouldn't even be able to start making ice cream till we closed because it was so busy in the summer. And then one of us would be there till 4 a.m. filling all the pans. Right. And then you're under the gun to get it to set up in time to scoop it. And
how many
for like, it was like
of K38 chips do you think we ate that year?
Oh my gosh.
We ate it like 4 or 5 times a night.
Yeah,
4 or 5 times a week.
I'd figured out every single healthy combination you come up with at that place. And also I had to tell the girls after a while, I'm like, you guys can have a pint of ice cream when you would like. I really appreciate it. But do not bring me any more chips. Like, don't bring them in here. Because it's like that.
Were they bringing them in as a trade?
Yeah.
A trade offering? Okay.
And we're like, we'll just give you ice cream. Stop feeding us deep fried chips.
Yeah, and there's literally like that meme.
There's
it's like
no way to stop eating them once they're here.
No, you have to finish it.
Right. Yeah. It's like, do they stop bringing the chips or do I die or what? Like, that was me.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when you did that reno, it was that store plus the one downtown, right? And
plus Hampstead. So you had
Hampstead.
We were producing for 3 shops at that point.
Yeah.
Without a walk-in freezer.
Which we had no intention of. Well, let's be clear here. None of the shops really did we seek out. Like, we're going to go open more shops.
It's true.
It's like
not until Carolina Beach was it intentional.
Right. So like the downtown shop was brick and mortar coffee.
I remember.
Logan and Jeff.
Yeah, they were running they wanted to make men's
they did not want to have a coffee shop.
Right.
But they sold coffee.
Selling coffee so that you had something to sip while you were, checking out
browsing
all of their
merch.
handmade crafts and whatnot. And then they turned into a coffee shop, which isn't what they wanted. It happened to be the best cold brew in town. I still think that now that we make it. So we were leaving once and I said to Kristen, if we could find a space just like this downtown, it would be awesome. And then like 9 months later, Logan sends me a text, hey, we're going to let the lease go. I'm like, well, I literally said if we could find this space. So that's how we got that one. And then Hampstead had an ice cream shop in it during COVID, which was a very long story. We don't have time on this podcast how what
How many
we've
bottles of wine do you have?
discovered and
Hey.
just pure insanity.
I can go find another one.
But the guy that owned the coffee shop next door called me because he was going to take that lease and open an ice cream shop. And I was like, man, COVID has really identified how many people in Hampstead and Sneads Ferry and
Right. And just real quick, when you said earlier, like, how do you identify where to go next? That's why we, after this Hampstead kind of fell in our lap, we decided, yes, we should open this because we pivoted to a delivery company during COVID. And then my lovely husband had a nervous breakdown, which was not fun. Passed out,
ER during COVID
had to go
was
to
fun.
the ER. So
They came in their spaceship suits.
I would like to know the stats of how many people had nervous breakdowns during COVID.
Because we were literally like, it's ice cream. You can't just take it with you. Like, we have to have a plan here in place if we're going to deliver this. And it's going to be way more tricky then.
Do you remember the first day? The plan? If you order before 5 o'clock, we will bring it to you the same day. And I was in...
That was a very bad plan.
And I was in Hampstead. Now, we didn't have a shop in Hampstead. So I'd already driven 20 minutes to Hampstead and I handed somebody their ice cream. It's like 7:30 at night. And this other person on their porch goes, do you also have mine? And I was like, what? I just ordered it at 4:59. And I was like, oh my God, I still have to go all the way back, pick up the ice cream. Come all the... So I go back and get the ice cream. There's also ice cream in like Monkey Junction. There's ice cream in like downtown. I'm like, what have I promised?
And it was amazing. Thank you, Wilmington, because
I stepped up.
I mean, it was insane how much ice cream mainly Wes delivered. I mean, he was literally plotting out in the hospital bed and sending messages to our staff to pack the ice cream because when he got out of there, he was going to go deliver it. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
I also had a root canal in the middle of a delivery session.
But yeah, so anyway, Hampstead came in strong. I mean, they were ordering so much ice cream.
So that was like a proving ground for that part of town.
Lots of families.
Leland, y'all ordered enough ice cream for one day of delivery, and Hampstead had, by the end, we were delivering 3 days a week to Hampstead.
Wow.
Right. So everybody in Leland's always saying, why didn't we have a shop? We want a shop.
I'm just kidding, Leland. We love you.
But still come to the downtown one. Come to the downtown one.
Yeah.
But
Leland's in the grand plans.
Yeah. So we ended up opening Hampstead right at the end of COVID. I think it was like November of 20.
Black Friday.
Yes.
It's our first day.
And again, we're like, okay, people knew there was an ice cream shop here, but it's going to take some time for them to know it's Bombalatti's and for us to acquire a customer base and whatever. But hindsight, they're ordering all this ice cream during COVID, right? So
They're ready for you.
Total chaos from the day we opened. I had two 16-year-old girls who had just turned 16 that I hired who didn't know what they were doing. Little kids. It's the end of COVID. Life is crazy. And now one of the girls that I hired when she was 15, she still works for me. She just turned 21. She's my part-time manager up in Hampstead. And it's just crazy to see like the growth in her. But at the beginning, I was leaving her there for hours at a time. And I'd be like, good luck. Text me if you need something. I got to go pick up my kids.
Oh, gosh.
We didn't think it was going to be busy.
We didn't think it was going to be that busy. And then she called me, Miss Kristen, it was so busy from the time school got out till 5. I had a line. I'm like, oh, geez. Okay. Well,
it's so funny to see people's memories of that COVID era. Because like I'll read online like, oh man, that was that year that we watched everything that was on Netflix and we learned how to make sourdough bread. And I'm like, I had a nervous breakdown, went to the ER and delivered 18,000 pints of ice cream. Like I had no sourdough bread making experience.
Right. No, you just kept going.
Hashtag small business ownership.
Well, I mean, that's how Salt and Charm kind of exploded was during COVID and nobody could go out to eat. And so we were
figure it out.
Dropping food constantly. So, I mean, I would not say I'm grateful for COVID, but I'm grateful that my business grew.
Yes.
And no, I didn't have sourdough moments either.
Yeah.
No.
Never made one loaf of sourdough.
We did watch Tiger King when we got home that night.
Well, there you go.
That.
But it is weird to think like people are like, I didn't leave my home for I'm like, oh my goodness. We ended up selling the van that I was delivering in partially because I didn't want to like be in it anymore.
You had a trauma response.
I was like, I've been in this van for like 9 hours a day for 8 months.
Well, but also little kids would cry in Walmart sometimes because they just thought there was ice cream in it all the time.
I'd be picking my kids up from school and all the kids would run over. I'm like, no, just
there's no ice cream in here right now.
This is just my vehicle.
Yeah. And also he has a bit of road rage, let's be real. And he didn't want to like
I wouldn't want to flip people off anymore. I'd be like, it's fine.
Yeah, if you have your branding all over your vehicle, you gotta be a sane person.
Really behave.
Lots of grace and patience.
Now I drive real slow.
Yeah.
Right. And then I mean, I guess we'll just finish off with Carolina Beach. We did decide that we were gonna do that because it was gonna be a local place that was Gonna be year round. It wasn't gonna be like the boardwalk where it's very you
It
know,
dies in the
Not
winter.
quite as seasonal, yeah.
right. And
K38 and Drift were already, I don't know if they
yes.
were completely on, but they were very interested, and we liked both of them a lot.
Yes, two of our favorites, K38 and Drift. We're like, well, if they're going to be in there, we know that there's going to be three things probably that are drawing business to this plaza, and people are living there. It's a combination place, which is great. And then UNCW, no.
How do you say no?
How do you say no? 3 times, right? They kept asking us.
So they came to you. You didn't go to them.
Right.
One of the most, let's say humbling. I don't
humbling. Yeah, I would say.
Like, I just was like, I can't believe, like, I mean, they came, like a huge conglomerate, 2 of them, technically, UNCW and Aramark, are like, you are who we want to fill this 1,500 square foot space for our students.
That was going to be Starbucks.
Yeah.
Wow.
And this guy, Gino, came from New England, Boston, and he's in the business services. And his whole thing is we need to stop opening like Chick-fil-A's and Subways and Starbucks and open, now they're doing the coffee shops that are opening. Social was just opening now Sundays, and then Bombalatti's and Tap Tea Bar. So really focusing on getting local stuff. So props to Gino and
that's great.
All of UNCW, but we just couldn't say no to that one. And that's kind of what set us to this next space where now we're like, well, now we need to make so much more ice cream. So what's next?
Right. So we're on the hunt for a
Which is why we're here to announce. No, we're not.
No announcements.
No, we're not. But you do need a production space. That's
so now that's probably
retail.
Gonna be next.
Yeah.
And so then it's like, well, once we move into a larger production space, that will let it. So it's like, it is that chicken and the egg thing. Like, is that going to
cereal and milk?
Cereal and milk thing.
Yes, very much so.
That's our analogy.
That is a great analogy.
Yeah.
Oh, I have extra milk. I got to fill it with the cereal. Oh, now I have too much cereal.
Yep.
The other good one of that is late night when you're snacking, you like eat something salty and you're like, ooh, now I need something sweet. And then like you sit there for a little bit and you're like, ooh, I could go for some pretzels. And then you eat something pretzels and you're like, ooh, but now I need some dessert.
Yes.
And then it's like, what I need to do is go to bed.
Yes. What you need to do is calm down.
Right.
Stop. Go to bed. Okay. Quick 30-second break while I tell you something that made a huge difference for me. I'm literally sitting in the Unfiltered studio right now. This place is a game changer. I knew there was no way this podcast was going to get done at home. I didn't want to deal with lighting, sound, all the other tech and distractions. Now I just prep and show up here. Everything's set up. I sit down and I feel like a total pro. If you're in Wilmington and need a space to record, visit unfilter.io or just search Unfiltered Studio on Instagram and see it for yourself. The other big thing I wanted to talk to you guys about specifically is branding, because y'all are really good at it.
Right, which oddly, neither one of us is wearing any gear.
Branding in a way that is very engaging for your customer base, for the community. It's not just, here's our logo that looks really great. I feel like your branding goes all the way from something like that, all the way to like your personalities are part of your brand. Even when when you tell me you only do 20% creative, that's hard for me to wrap my head around because I see so much creativity out of y'all.
Right.
And like with y'all's Instagram videos recently about, can you make this into an ice cream, which I love. I think it's amazing. But you guys are just so good at branding. So I want to hear, are you doing it? You having somebody do it? You having somebody coach you? Or is it just what's in your weird brains that comes out?
She called our brains weird.
That's true. I mean, it's a little bit of both. Branding is probably one of my favorite things. I've subscribed to like Brand New, which is a website all about like minute changes in brands, logos, and like I love that stuff, and just fonts and color palettes. So I've always wanted to be able to brand something. Now I don't have the physical talent to do it. So we do have multiple sort of designers that we go to. Matt Ray does all of photography, and we've got Brave helping us with the video. So,
and we have a bunch of local artists that we like a lot that we use. Lauren at, I always mispronounce it. Is it Areta? Areta?
Yep. She's done a bunch of shirts for us, and then even Creature Theory, who's local, they've done all of our pint, and they kind of tweaked our logos. So, but it is nice to go in and say like, this is what I'm trying to draw. I don't know how Illustrator works. Like I was a kid in the 90s using like Photoshop to do graphic design, which is so backwards. So it's definitely now a combination of both. What?
Also, shout out to Abbye, our one manager. She's drawn multiple of our Carl, the skating Carl guy.
Oh, he's on the back.
Oh gosh,
for my boom shirt.
You're undressing?
This is one of her shirts.
Yeah, she's drawn
he's
a bunch.
had a little bit of wine, so it's time for some clothes to come off.
I don't know.
Here we go.
She's done a bunch of
After
our,
dark. Yeah, we do have a lot of artists sort of that kind of work for us.
Yes.
But branding's fun because I read a quote. I attribute it to Greg Cocastone, whoever does Sierra Nevada Brewing Company. I believe he said that the only real difference in beer is branding at the end of the day. Everybody has access to the same hops and the same yeast strains and all of that. And so it's sort of like, what do you do after you brew the beer that is what makes people... And honestly, ice cream is the same. Like if you use super high quality dairy, which we do, and you don't use artificial flavors and colors and you use like good stuff, like you're going to reach a ceiling. Like you can only make ice cream as good as you can make it. Then it is, well, what do you do to make people feel a certain way or get them to feel something before they take their first bite? Or for us, we're such a tourist destination that we do see a lot of people say they found us sometimes through all of the influencers or whatnot, but they found us before they come to Wilmington, see our videos, see our stories, and come to Wilmington. And that's part of their plan, is coming to Bombalatti's and trying whatever flavor that was on. So to me, any company that doesn't put time and effort into that is selling themselves short.
Right.
Well, and that's kind of like where I come in, because we both love, if we go to a business, it's not just like what they're selling us. It's like how you feel when you're in there. And we like clean lines and bright and welcoming, but not cluttered. And I love interior design. And so when you walk into our shop, the color palette and everything is something that I want you to like feel welcoming and like lively, but not over the top or gimmicky, if that makes sense. And so each of our shops is a little bit different. They all have their own flair, but they all center around the same kind of color palette and light wood and bright. But so you want people to come in, you want them to stay, but you don't want them to stay all night either, you know? So it's like a fine balance. But we both
You don't want your chairs to be so comfortable that they like lounge. Do you feel like branding, what's the importance of branding kind of extending down from logo and typeface and colors and all of that, but all the way through how the person is spoken to when they come in?
100%. Yes.
Yes, it's how they feel, but how much do you communicate? And I feel like that's brand. That's not so much like service SOPs. That's brand. If you want your customer to feel a certain way, then your staff has to speak a certain way, and their face has to look a certain way, and they have to react and respond in certain ways. And that is, to me, maybe I'll agree or not, but I feel like that's as much a part of your brand as colors and
100%. And we have that sort of in our handbook, that it's sort of the environment that you're in, the music, the lighting, the color palette, the product. Like we've got that taken care of. And then it's the service that you receive. And so that's what we need you, the employee, to like, that's where you step in. And the Forum Shop gets like crazy lines in the summer, which is amazing. And so we've really harped on this, like, you've got to create this 30-second experience where it's like, I know you just waited in line for 8 minutes. It's just you and me right now. We're going to have fun. Oh my God, that's my favorite. Like, I have all these canned things where somebody will ask for, like, can I get a scoop of that? And be like,
you're giving yourself away.
That's my favorite flavor. And then the person next to them will ask for a different scoop.
That's also your
favorite. That's
favorite.
My favorite flavor.
Yes.
I say that about all of them. And then everybody laughs. But it's like, it's corny if you hear it 10 times a day, but that person's like, oh, that was funny. Like, so all these like 30-second experiences, but they have to be 30 seconds because otherwise you're going to start seeing people leave the line. But I don't know, we've all gone to plenty of restaurants where it's like, it's beautiful, the food is amazing. And then the wait staff just drops it. And you're like, I don't know if I want to come back. Or
the minute you walk in, the people just seem annoyed or agitated that you're in there.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like,
I will never go back to a place like that.
Exactly.
I'll go back to a place that has maybe mediocre food if they made me feel a certain way.
Right.
Because that to me is, if I'm going to go out and spend my time and my money.
Right. Especially with the prices like nowadays.
Right.
You're like,
I want to feel like I'm important to you. I want to feel like you are expecting me, and that, you know, you're here for me. And if they get that right, I am religiously, fanatically, like I will go back to a place if you make me feel good when I'm in there.
Yeah.
I mean, shout out actually to Natalie in this building. I just took my mom there on Sunday night, but that's one of the places I go back to frequently. I mean, her cocktails are great, but like
upstairs.
Yes,
Why
why not? Her cocktails are great, but like she remembers everybody's names, I feel like. And if she doesn't remember you, her staff will remember you. And they're all like very just, you feel like you're in someone's living room or something, but they're like talking to you. And yeah, it's a good feeling. You want to, like you said, if you're going to spend your money, you want to feel taken care of. And one of our goals when we bought Boom was that, you know, we wanted this place to become like an experience. So like, you know, if you've had a bad day, you feel better when you leave here. We tell our staff that all the time. This person might have just like lost a parent or something and they're coming to get ice cream to try to cheer themselves up. Or this person might have just gotten engaged and they came in here to celebrate. You know, if you're having a bad day and you wait on them in that manner, now their experience has been ruined, you know? And it's like, you don't have to be gimmicky, just be pleasant and kind, you know?
Yeah.
Make them feel welcome. We harp on that a lot. Our staff is probably sick of hearing about that. And we get a lot of great reviews about them because I think they know that's cleanliness, friendliness.
Yeah.
Top two priorities and the product.
Well, and I feel like it's something you have to repeat over and over. Allegra, who runs my kitchen for me, she'll lament to me all the time, like, I'm tired of having to say the same thing over and over to our staff. And I'm like, but that will never, ever change.
Right.
Because you're dealing with humans and you're dealing with humans that don't have as much of a stake in this as you do or as I do. And so they have to be reminded that, no, this is how we're going to do this. This is how you're going to respond. This is how you're going to make these potatoes. You're not going to make it any other way than this. And when you serve these potatoes to that person, you're going to smile.
Right.
You're going to be aware of your face.
Yes.
So many people are not aware of their face,
No.
or they don't know that they're doing something.
Uh-huh.
Like we've had conversations with their managers, like they may not know that that's how they're coming across. It's up to you to pull them aside and nicely say, hey, you're probably not doing this intentionally, but right now, like your vibes are not what I think you want them to be. And like, it's okay to do that. But when you move people into like management or leadership roles, it's new to them too. Like I wasn't great at it until I had to do it forever at Verizon. And you're like, I just need to do it.
Yeah.
And then the first few times you give somebody
now?
feedback. Yeah. Do you want me to tell you where all your opportunities are? You have so few.
You mentioned that about the people and repeating yourself. And that's another good thing, you know, when it comes to running a business that you really have to think about that. Luckily for us, we kind of can balance each other out. And if you're running a business by yourself, you might not have that, but you have to be able to treat people that work for you in a way where like they are people, they are humans, they are not perfect, they're not machines, and things are going to come up and things are going to change in their life, right? You have to be able to hold them accountable, but also see them as human beings and not just your employees, but keep the business running, which is very tricky.
Very tricky.
It's a very fine line.
It's one of the hardest things we do.
I think the hardest aspect of my job by far. And I wasn't a boss. I didn't run teams before this. Now we have like over 60 employees and it's a
85
lot.
in the summer.
Oh, 85. Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, when you're making a batch of ice cream, you put a certain amount of this and this and this in it, and it's going to come out a certain way, right? It's going to react the same way. Humans don't react the same way from minute to minute, no matter what you do. If you're treating them the same way, they're going to respond differently. And I feel like my job is probably 75% therapist, which I'm not qualified to do.
Same, girl, same.
It's just part of it.
Yes.
If y'all aren't qualified, you should see me trying to do it.
But you know what? We're breaking generational curses, Abbye. So,
Well, last question. I've learned a lot from y'all today. Thank you very much. If you could go back to before you bought Boom and change one thing, what would it be?
Like about ourselves, or this is an open
The
ended
business.
question?
The business. About how you approach the business.
Ma'am?
This is totally not a valid answer, but I just thought of the fact that I would not attempt to put $1,000 worth of 20s into an ATM.
While it was windy?
While it was windy.
Oh, no.
One of the nights after work, I was like, I need to get all this cash out of here, and I'm going to forget to do it tomorrow. And so I'll just put it in the ATM because it said you could put up to 1,000 in there. and it was windy, and I put too many 20s at a time. It all started blowing out. There was this guy like in this muscle car behind me.
Gosh.
And it's blowing around the Wells Fargo parking lot, the money, like lots of it. I'm by myself. It's like midnight, and this guy's behind me. I'm like, well, either he's going to steal all my money and like jump me. I don't know, because he starts getting out of his car. He's like, let me help you. Let me help you. He helps me get all the money. He's like, I don't know that you should try to put it back in again. He said, I was like, no, I'm not going to.
No, we're going to try again another day.
But serious answer.
No, I mean, that's valid.
Yeah.
Don't try and stick.
Don't do your own plumbing.
Don't
When I
do
fixed
your own plumbing.
the sink and I glued it to the wall and I thought it was fine, and then it snapped off the wall and flooded our shop.
While he was golfing for the first time in 2 years.
Okay, so that reminds me. A huge thing that I wanted to ask you guys, and that reminds me because I can imagine that what she thought when you did that and flooded the shop was, I'm going to kill him or I'm going to divorce him. So how are you still married after all these years of running these businesses? Or how are you still married?
That's the announcement we're going to make today. No, we really love each other.
Right.
Oh.
Of course, there's that.
You just said,
That's a great
answer.
answer.
we both have lots and lots of strengths. We both have a few opportunities. We both sort of like, she knows what my opportunities are. I'm still trying to identify her opportunities.
Liar. He knows what my opportunities are. His opportunity is, and I started to say it earlier and we got like off on a tangent, but like he loves to come home and tell me so-and-so did this or so-and-so did this or this isn't getting done like I want it to be done. And I'm like,
did you tell them?
But did you tell them that
No. I want them to just figure it out without me saying anything.
I just want to come home and complain to you about it and have it magically fix itself. And then, so, but I do think we do have different strengths and opportunities, as Wes likes to call them. I would say weaknesses. Like I can't fix a toilet.
You didn't come from corporate America, did you?
No, I can't fix a toilet. I don't want to look at any numbers and figure out what the budget's going to be. I don't want to look at floor plans and try to figure out logistically where. But I can talk a girl off a ledge in 6 seconds. I can make a lot of ice cream and a really big mess in a kitchen in like 4 hours and then clean it all back up and it will look like nothing ever happened in there. Wes can pivot, keep his cool, just continue going and not hit a wall for the most part and stay steady for our family, which I tremendously appreciate both personally and professionally because I'm like this and he's really pretty much always like this.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how we stay married, is that I'm very even keeled.
Until he's not. And I don't prefer the times when he's not. I guess he's more like this and then like this.
I do have, they are rare, but when they hit, man, they hit.
He's getting better about that too. Not waiting until that happens.
I guess my question is, have you guys had to put some things in, some boundaries or bumper pads, I like to call them, like when you go bowling and you have to put bumper pads in and, so you don't get off track. Do you have some things that are in your life intentionally to keep you grounded and healthy together apart from the business so that you can handle the sink coming off the wall and the floods or I remember you told me about the time your freezer failed and you lost however much ice cream. And, those are such stressful moments that I imagine if you're not really intentionally grounded to each other, that you can go off the rails real fast.
Yes. We do almost always take time to travel with our kids and without our kids. And we date each other, which people are like, oh, that's corny or whatever. But we do always carve out time just to have the two of us where we're together. And we will say, okay, we're going on this walk. We're going to the beach or whatever. Can we not talk about work? Let's talk about us. Let's talk about our plans for the future. What are we going to do when the kids graduate or things like that? So we do try to be really intentional about our time, especially now we have teenagers. They don't really want to hang out with us as much. What else do we do?
We also, we did get in a fight not too long ago, and we both had this realization that, I was holding on to stress and then relieving it at home, which was, you're talking about trauma from your past and whatnot. There's reasons for all of that. And just being we are on the same team. We are not enemies in this whatsoever. And so
you have a tendency when you do work together and you parent together, though, to start to tally up who's more stressed.
Wins and losses and stress.
Well, I'm saying, well, I'm doing all this stuff over here at home for the kids and all this. And he's like, well, you have no idea what's going over here at the business. That's usually the balance of that. But I enjoy the stuff that I do at home more than he does. And so it's we've kind of silently agreed on this, but then when we get really stressed, we hold it against each other.
Mm-hmm.
But we had that realization this summer, and we talked about it for a long time. And Wes doesn't like talking about things that are icky, as the kids would say when they're little. He's like, whoa,
Let
I
me
can't,
just hold
don't
on to
bring
my
this back
feelings.
up, you know? And I'm like, well, we have to talk about it and figure out how we're not going to let it happen again.
Mm-hmm.
If
So
we want this
communication,
marriage, and the business to work.
dating,
Good
good food,
food
travel.
is definitely
The
one
dating
of them.
is great because I think that that's a challenge for people who don't work together to find the time to do that. And then
For
when
sure.
you are together all the time, to still want to spend more time together and go out on a date that takes some effort,
Yes.
right? To like be able to switch the work brain off and realize that you still like this person enough to like go spend more time with them.
Right. Yes. And I think that a sense of humor goes a long way. You know, we don't take each other too seriously. You've hung out with us, you know, people that know us know well that we are always laughing and riding each other about something. And life is funny and unpredictable. And like, if you're just always like, that's not even that funny, whatever, who cares? It's like, that's no fun. You know, we have friends that like, they're like, oh no, we don't really joke around at our house. We're like, what?
That has to be so
What
weird.
does that look like? Like, how do you not joke around? And then, you know, our kids sometimes are told by like other people, or they'll say to me that our kids are so sarcastic. I'm like, ooh, I don't know what to tell you about that.
They've gotten that honest.
Yes, they've come by that honest. But we do like to laugh a lot. And we also like to like try new things. Like, that's a fun thing we like to do together. Like, I don't want to get boring, but also...
Well, I can promise you that from the outside, I would never say that your life is in any way boring.
It's not boring.
Definitely
no, at the end of the day, like we've done pretty well for ourselves based on like, you know, when we left our jobs, we were just hoping to like do as good as we were doing at Verizon and the law firm, which wasn't very good. Like, if we could just do that, and like we've done better than that. And at the end of the day, like, we're selling the most delicious food in the entire world. So it's hard. Like, even when you get really stressed out, it's like, man, I could be doing so many other things.
Yes, and we don't take that for granted. We talked about that a lot this summer. Like, yes, this is a problem. We're gonna have to find a production space, but like we joke a lot because we met randomly. We weren't even supposed to meet. We both had a boyfriend and girlfriend, came together one night, not planned, haven't never been apart since. And we joke about how like, oh, can you imagine that night we met in Erie, like thinking about our life now, would you ever in a million years have thought like this is what we would be doing, you know?
Talking about square footage of freezers and
and also the community in Wilmington, I will say, and I just overheard a girl saying this the other night, she just moved here, that the community in Wilmington, the restaurant, small business, the people here are so supportive. And yes, we worked hard for this business over like the last 10 years, but people have been, our friends especially, and people that we know have been so supportive of us. I mean, so supportive. They still are.
Yeah.
They're always happy for our wins.
That is true. That's been my experience too.
Yes.
For
That's
sure.
the thing I think we said is the most fun is the businesses that we looked up to before we started Bombalatti's. So many of them like we're like friends with the owners now. And it's so finding all these people and our friends too, like we'll go out somewhere and like we'll see you or we'll see Matt or we'll see, and they're like, who is that? I'm like, oh, they own Grimberger. Oh, they own Cheesesmith. Oh, they own Fermental. And they're like, how do you know them?
What year did you start Salt and Charm?
Like 7 years ago, and then the brick and mortar opened like 4.5 years ago.
Oh wow! For some reason, I feel like I was like admiring you from afar before we had Boom, but it must have been after when I still didn't know what I was doing. Yeah, and I was like, oh, she looks like she has her shit together.
I've never, not for 1 minute, had my shit together. That's a lie. Looks like it. That is the magic of social media.
Right.
No, it was just me and a couple of like Emily and Allie at the beginning, just doing dinner parties. And so a lot of people think that I've been around a lot longer than I have.
Oh, okay,
maybe. Haven't really.
Yes.
And then before that, I was like, had this dumb little food blog.
Oh, maybe I was reading that. Yeah.
You may have. But yeah, the brick and mortar just a little under 5 years. So it's been like a fast and furious from opening Salt and Charm and then Starling and then Ibis. And then it's just all like compressed.
And then you just expanded Salt and Charm, right? To
it sure has. It's been really cool to watch that happen too.
It's fun. I love watching, like you said, the community here is great and very supportive. And I learned so much just by watching y'all on what you post on social media. I know that's not the whole thing, but
Oh, right. Yeah. That's fun too. Coming up with what we're going to post on there. We're about to do the advent calendar, which should be a good time, that was really fun because those are some creative flavors in there.
Yeah. We all definitely are good at getting the humor in your brand to come all the way down, trickle down through everything.
Thank you.
The joy. And I mean, ice cream is so joyful, and that definitely comes across in you too and how you approach your business and
thank you.
Your customers. And
yeah, somebody asked the other day, like Wes was goofing around. They're like, is he always like this? I'm like, yes. And then they were like, does that get on your nerves after a while? And I was like, no, because like, I don't really know anything else. It's just always silly and goofy for the most part. I mean, we do very far and few between. We have like some freak out moments, but it's always a joke running at our house, which I don't know if you saw the pie me thing last year that we did on social media, but like that was literally it was assault at one point, but literally the behind the scenes of that was like so funny because he wouldn't think ever that I
really had no idea what was happening,
that I was going to prank him, because we're always like kind of trying to trick each other or like, do weird things to each other to like get the other one. So
I love that. I love that.
But,
well, thanks for coming on today.
Yes, thanks for having us.
It's been so fun. I've learned a lot. Where can people find you online?
Bombalattis.com or at Bombalattis on pretty much everything. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, even LinkedIn.
Oh boy.
So what is you want to send me a message I'll never read, send it to LinkedIn.
I do not understand LinkedIn. I'm on it and I don't even know what to do with it. But what do you get more traction on TikTok or Instagram?
Instagram's definitely our bread and butter. That's where
a lot of 40-year-old women.
Do you post the same things on both platforms?
We basically post the same thing on Instagram and Facebook, but TikTok is slightly different than what we do on Instagram. And we don't do as much. Like, we're still very photo heavy on Instagram, even though Instagram really wants videos only. And then TikTok, we're almost all video and no carousels or anything.
Yeah.
And shout out to Brave, because they are way younger than us and they know much more what to post where, and they've been very helpful for us.
They're awesome.
Yeah. Figuring that out.
Yeah.
They'll film us and they walk out and we're like, there's no way they got anything out of that. And then 2 days later, they're like, here's the first edit. And we're like, that's hilarious. We actually look like we know what we're doing.
Yes. They're very good at what they do.
Yeah, and the edit is important.
They're also very sneaky because there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. They have some probably real good stuff of us two and Matt Ray.
Oh, I'm sure.
I don't want to know what that B-roll looks like.
I do.
Matt Ray needs to put some B-roll on his Instagram that I'm sure they have plenty of content for, but thank y'all so much. Thanks for joining me on Business from Scratch. Follow the show for more honest conversations about building a business that works for you.